All right, everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am your host, Brian Carter. Guys, the boys are on the road. Bass Geek wasn't able to be with us tonight. You guys all know this gets uploaded on Mondays, by the way, recorded on Wednesdays. And Thomas and I get to hang out together at the Augusta Fishing Expo in Fishersville, Virginia. So we're going to be there this weekend hanging out. And like I said, this will already be uploaded by then. But guys, my boy Steve from Get Your Fish On is back with us tonight. We might make him a regular because there's a lot. This is like Steve, I kind of call this like the new days of our lives that's happening right now in tournament bass fishing. I mean, it is something every freaking weekend that's going on. And we got a new event that just got added to the pot this week. So $1.25 million to the winner, everybody. The Champions Tournament that is going to be happening on probably one of the worst bodies of water ever. That's what I've been hearing. That's what everybody keeps saying. But hey, it's $1.25 million. And I've fished out of we got Mr. Cody on with us tonight. Cody Stale with us. He for you guys who don't know, he just won the first Bassmaster Open event of the 2026 season. Guys, 2025. I know I keep saying it, but we kind of wish it would have ended a lot faster than what it did. But we're excited about 2026. So, but guys, before we dive into this, like I said, we will be at the Augusta. We have been at the Augusta County Expo in Fishersville. It's a great event. If you've never been before, mark your calendar for next year. It's always right around the 1st of February. They kind of wait till some of the bigger Tennessee's over, Raleigh's over, Richmond's over, and Angler's Choice is over as well. And then they host their event. And then what is it, Steve? Maybe about 4 weeks from now, give or take, and we'll all be hanging out at the Bassmaster Classic in Knox Vegas, everyone. So we got that going on. Again, thank you to everyone who signed up for fantasy fishing. I think we ended up about 35 to 40 participants. So thank you guys for signing up for that. And at the time of recording, we got the Bassmaster Elite Series on the St. Johns River. Excited about that. Will Cruz win it? He's got history there. Fighter loves the river again. There's a lot of great anglers that are going to be fishing the first event, and I know all of us will be glued to our TVs, our Roku this year, Fox the final 2 days, and 99% of us will probably be watching on a computer, an iPad, a phone, however we can watch. That's how we're going to be watching. So, Steve, thanks for coming back on, brother.
Thank you for having me. I'm more happy to finally meet Cody because he just found out I was just about to do a complete video on him.
So, Cody, man, we appreciate you coming on, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
How you feeling?
Oh, feeling pretty good. It's a great way to start the season. Definitely wasn't expecting it, but I'm grateful to have it. It's like we, definitely makes me feel like I'm on the right track, but we still definitely have a lot of work to do the rest of the year. So it's a good start, but I'm just ready to stay hungry and get after the next one.
It is pretty good to get that first check cashed and have a little bit of breathing room. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it definitely helps the wallet out and definitely help pay the bills. So,
all right,
it's a lot easier.
For you guys who are watching on YouTube, and I hope you are, Basscast Radio, Cody's currently ice fishing. Okay,
Yeah.
I have never done that before. I made fun of messed with him earlier, but I would really like to do it one time. Just say I did it. That would be so freaking awesome because it's like you want to think about it. There's no FFS, everybody. There's a hole in the ice, and he is.
Oh no, they have FFS in that.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
They do.
Are
Yeah,
you
we've been
using it?
scoping them all day. Dude. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
What?
yeah. We've been running and gunning all day today. We've been, we just leave the scope in the side by side. We pop a hole next to the side by side, drop the pole down, look around, and then if they're not there, you just, go another 150, 200 foot and pop another hole, look around, and keep rolling until you see a school of crappie or walleye, and then you triangulate where they are and go pop a hole on top of them and get to catching them. It's pretty
Well,
neat.
wouldn't that kind of scare the fish?
Well, it does a little bit.
You
So
got to drill a
you
hole.
can what you yeah, you do have to drill a hole, and typically you have to find the schools that's going to sit. You can find a lot of schools that are going to run away based on pressure. Or they're just kind of weary, or they're just moving around.
Okay.
But if you pop enough holes on some enough schools, you're going to find one that sits, and then you can get to catching them.
Wow.
Do you find that you start catching them better when that dusk to start to especially walleye, that when you get that dusk time to nighttime that you start catching more, or are you catching them during the day?
So we were catching a lot of crappie during the day, but as the sun started setting, we definitely started catching more walleye. We were during the day while the sun out, we could run around. We were targeting crappie really, and we would see a few walleye schools, but we were just really getting after some crappie while the sun was up. But since the sun's down, we're kind of in our permanent shelter. We're just targeting walleyes right now.
Just shaking a little minnow. What are you using?
So right now we're using a um, Berkeley finisher, and this
Oh
thing
yeah.
is
Yeah.
absolutely
Yep.
money for walleye. We I
Got
think
orange
in the
and
last
yellow.
hour we've probably caught like four or five so far. So it's pretty effective bait for walleye.
So, guys, while we're
Now,
recording this, if you see him reel one in, this is gonna be freaking awesome right here on the camera right here.
Hopefully we do that.
All right, let's you want to go? Do you want to go first, Steve, and talk to Cody, and then we can bring up the just in case something happens, and then we'll talk about the dual threat fishing, which is the hottest topic no one's ever heard of.
yeah. Yeah, if my phone doesn't blow up. To give Cody some props, 3-time winner, qualified for the classic, 18 times in the money, eight times top 10, finished 13th in the points last year, I believe, and I could be wrong, in 2025. Won the Bassmaster Open 2024 on Mississippi River, and was a lure designer at one point in time too, before becoming a professional angler. You won here in Kissimmee. Congratulations. That's my backyard, by the way. How, how did it all work out? Because quite honestly, the weather was the worst I've ever seen for that event.
Yeah. So definitely there was a lot leading up to that tournament. It's like I've had some history on Kissimmee. That was my third time there this past week. So it's like I knew how that lake laid out. I knew, what it looked like to catch them really good. I also knew what it looked like to catch them, not catch them. And so I kind of took my previous knowledge of, my past tournaments at Kissimmee along with my past tournaments of Florida in general, which my track record in Florida has been pretty bad. It's like I've had a couple of zeros in Florida and had a couple, double digit finishes in Florida, like on Okeechobee and the Harris thing. Um, but Kissimmee has been kind of an outlier for me on my Florida track record. As a co-angler, I fished there a while back, almost won that tournament, and I fished there as a boater and actually zeroed on day one, and come back on day two and had the biggest day of the tournament. So just going from one extreme to the other on that place, along with having that situation as
I
a
might.
boater there, I knew what to look for and how to, dissect that chain of lakes. And, going into the event, I was really wanting whenever you get a full moon, it's very early spring in January, those fish are super finicky because it's right on the cusp of being able to spawn and not being able to spawn based on when you get a cold front and how cold it is. Um, and so leading up to it, we had a really warm mid-70s, mid-80s. Down there, really warm that water temp up across the lake. And so we were looking at, when we got there for practice, we were looking at 75, 76 degree water temps, which is,
Can you hear?
Barely.
Barely. Okay. Hey, Cody, I want to turn off your video real quick. See if they'll. Guys, by the way, he is in an ice hut. He is fishing. He had
He's
2 bars.
more importantly, he's fishing. Shouldn't be worried about us.
So I want to cut off his video real quick and see if they'll help improve his sound quality. All right, there we go. Video is gone.
Can you hear me?
Not really.
Yeah.
It's really breaking up.
Yeah. I mean, if he's on the middle of the water, that's probably why.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Let's see here. I might have to put my suit back on and go outside.
I think we should remove him.
Yeah. Cody, you need to check your Instagram DMs for me, please.
There you go. Check those, Cody, and we're gonna jump off here.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Cody.
All right.
It's
Hey,
all right.
we tried.
Yeah.
That is what it's like. If anybody wants to know what it is like talking to some of these anglers on the road, we understand. We try to get so many of them. I ain't lying, and we're in the world that we're in now, and it's sometimes you have LTE, sometimes you don't have LTE, but we will get Cody on the show. By the way, we will get him if he, they just want to fish. I mean, that's what we have. These young kids are all over the place, Steve.
I think one of the things I realize about the younger anglers these days is just how much more committed they are to learning different fisheries and then going out there and fishing at all times. I mean, they're like Cody, and you think of Fisher Anaya and Easton Fothergill and Trey McKinney, and even Drew Gill. These guys go fishing for. I mean, I think I read something, or I watched an interview or something that said that some of these guys are fishing 300, 320 days a year. That's insane to me. But when you have different commitments, you can do that kind of stuff. So
it's true. I know, when you're not married and you got no kids and all that wonderful stuff. I mean, I hate to say it, you do have a little bit more of a window, and some of these young boys get a girlfriend, and then like Brandon Polinick, and gets married and then has kids. I kind of think of him as probably one of the youngest ones. I mean, even though now he's like the middle age, the middle of the group, but he's kind of the one I kind of followed up, and married, kids, boom, and family, and can't spend all his time on the water like the young kids can.
I did. I was on the water with Brandon at one of one of his classics. My story about Brandon is I was supposed to. That was the classic that Casey Ashley won. And I was supposed to be on. I was supposed to be on the boat with Casey Ashley as his marshal, and then the night before, I got a call saying, "Hey, Casey's one of the favorites. Who would you like to go with next?" And I said, "Oh, I'd like to go with Brandon Palaniuk. I think he's great." So I showed up. I had borrowed Patrick Sabile's ice fishing outfit. And Patrick is probably 6 to 10 inches shorter than me.
Oh, geez.
The leggings they looked like I was waiting for a flood. They came to my calf. And I got over and saw Brandon, and that was when it was like 6 or 7, 10, 12 degrees, whatever it was. And it took hours to get all the boats in the water. And I see Brandon, and I say to him, "Where are we going?" Now, this is before he was married, too. And
I remember that.
And I get in the boat, and he says, "Steve, you better buckle up. You better put everything you on." So I end up putting on every bit of clothing I own. I look like the Michelin Man. I can't even put my arms down because of it. And they let us go, and Brandon jumped on plane and went about 5 minutes, and then jumped off plane and started fishing. And I said, "Are you joking?" He said, "I just wanted to have fun and make you put all that stuff on." And we laughed about it. And then I plugged in a GoPro, and I plugged in another GoPro, and the whole ride from that getting off the water, because you rode with the angler you're with, and his now wife drove. I did an interview called The Drive with Brandon Palaniuk, and it was one of the first YouTube videos I ever did. And he had a horrible day that day. He caught one fish, and it was really enlightening to learn and to hear his thought process as we drove back to the weigh-in thing. I did Jason Christie the year before, and then Brandon Palaniuk and Ott Defoe. I've had great anglers that I was able to go with.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember when Casey won that. And I think his son was there. I want to say his now wife was there.
He sang the national anthem.
Sang the national anthem.
Yeah.
But then
good.
But when Major League Fishing kicked into gear, he was one of the ones that I was like, I mean, I know you won a Bassmaster Classic, but I was still really, really confused why he left. I really was. I mean, because you've seen so many classic winners, one hit wonder. It's just like putting out an album. And to see him leave and to go to Major League Fishing, the promises and the gold and everything else that was promised. But I mean, it was one that just like, and ever since then, I mean, I did I did some videos with him that just, it kind of tanked. I mean, it's like what happened to Major League Fishing happened, Kevin Van Dam and a lot of the other anglers. Everybody kind of just disappeared. It was there, the group was there, but everything, them just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I think in some of these guys, and I don't want to say who said this to me, they felt pressured to go to Major League Fishing, and they were promised a lot of stuff. And not to say that Bass was doing things perfectly, by all means, but I remember in Brandon's case, and I think I'm okay to say this, Brandon and I talked about there were 3 people I thought should not leave Bass. That's the truth. Everyone else I didn't really talk to. Brandon, Jordan Lee, and I don't even remember the other person. But Gerald, Brandon and I talked, and after the first tournament here on the Kissimmee chain for Major League Fishing, and he was in the getting everything together for the next day, and we sat down and talked, and I told him I would have never left. I think you would have been the poster boy for the elites if you stayed. And he said, I think I'm going to give it 1 year. If it doesn't work out the way I want it to be, I'm going to go back. And he did exactly that.
Yeah. Guys, if you haven't been living under a rock, another one of the ones who made the jump, Mike Iaconelli, announced his retirement this past week. We know he probably won't, I don't know. I don't know what Mike's, I had Mike on the show. I interviewed him right when the transition was taking place, the hopes, the dreams, the 24 hours of video footage, all the glory that was supposed to come with Major League Fishing. And then a couple years later, one of the biggest names in sports at that time, TV shows, decided to return back to Bassmaster. He returned back to Bassmaster because he won a classic. So he came back under the kind of the grandfather clause right there. But I don't know. I just kind of wonder why now he wants to retire. I know, does he have he's announced another TV show coming, but we ain't seen it. Kevin Van Dam, his retirement, he announced a TV show coming. We haven't seen it. So, I mean, have you heard or what's going on there? Or, like I said, we all think that it's because he won't requalify. He only had so many years. He hasn't had some good tournament years. Last year was not great at all. So, I mean, do you think he's lost the spark, or do you think it's just time to let the young kids have it?
I think it might be a little of both. I talked to Mike years ago at a Summit Cup, and he told me that at that point in time, he thought he had 5 or 7 years to that, and he was going to plan on retiring. And I think this is maybe not the 7 years. I think it might be 9 or 10. I think that he likes to fish a certain way, and I think the biggest thing is that I've seen recently is there's more and more anglers that are realizing that they don't have that time with their family.
Yeah.
because they're gone so much. And like I when Dual Threat was starting to get all this, finalized all the no entry fees and that kind of stuff, and I was asked to reach out to some people that I knew. I didn't reach out to Mike, but I reached out to one angler, and he said I would love to do it, but the thing is, I just don't want to. I don't want to leave my family anymore. This is it, and I think Mike's probably at that point because it is taxing on your family and your relationships. So I think whatever he does, he's going to be good at. I'm not a big fan of the yelling and screaming, but I will admit, I think that he has been one of the most influential anglers that we've ever had. I actually think that you have that Kevin Van Dam and you have Mike Iaconelli really close to each other only because the Ike Foundation and all this stuff he does to get kids into the outdoors.
Yeah.
And I really commend that. I really commend that.
Yeah, he came up the school and everything like that, teach anglers, and that's been going really, really well. And then everybody watched his TV program. So I mean, it's one cool thing about TV program. You can kind of record in about 2 months' time a crap load of episodes, and you're done.
Yeah.
And you have the whole year to be with your family, and you still get a paycheck, and sometimes a residual paycheck.
Yep.
So
I hope I like I said, I think he'll be good at whatever he does.
Yeah.
I hope that he stays in the industry. I'm pretty sure he said he was going to stay in the industry. So it's still a good thing. I like when anglers leave before they get into that rut of where they're always in that 90 to 102.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're just clawing. And I do believe there is a time when some of these anglers start hurting the industry by staying in too long because they're still getting, and they're still collecting sponsorships and doing all this stuff. And I think when you're in that 90 to 100 mark on the elites, how much product are you really selling? No offense, but are you going to buy a lure if a guy comes up and says he's in 102nd and he comes in and tells you how great the lure is?
No.
You're not going to buy that lure.
No. I mean, and like you just said there, Steve, I understand that's 100%. We've actually spoke at that before. Is like, are they just taking money away from the new kids? And you kind of wonder about that too. And Rick Clunn had all them sponsorships for so long, such a great career. He's coming back. I mean, he's fishing the NPFL. So, but you kind of wonder is like, am I hurting the sport? Am I helping the sport? Am I taking money away from a young kid that's not giving him the opportunity to come up in the fishing world? So, glory days, they wrote a song about it. Listen.
Yeah. Well, you want to know what I think? I think one of the things that now a lot of anglers do is they manage their money better. And I think that there are times in the past that some of these guys stick with it because there isn't a 401k. There isn't a retirement fund. There isn't the kind of stuff that you need to retire and live your life properly. And unless you're making millions upon millions every year in sponsorships and can bank some of it, some of these guys stick in because it's they need the money.
Yeah.
It's just plain and simple.
But I'll tell you this, Steve.
But it probably
I've seen some houses from some of these anglers, and they ain't small.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, I've seen a couple of them, and I'm like, you either in debt up to your eyeballs or something, because these some beautiful houses. I mean, I'm not talking about Scott Martin. This got Scott Martin money. I'm talking about like some other anglers that I've seen on like their houses on Instagram and stuff like that, and you're like, dude, I got 1,200 square feet up and down. You know what I'm saying? It ain't much of this daggone place. I mean, it's enough I want to clean. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, some anglers, that top tier anglers, make a lot of money. They do really well. And then you have that middle tier that probably break even, make a little bit of extra money, and then you have that lower tier that's paying for everybody else. And they just keep getting beaten down. They get their teeth kicked in every week. And don't take anything away. They're great anglers. They just maybe aren't as lucky as some of these other guys, or maybe they don't have it isn't about skill. It's about luck and if you can find the fish, or these days, if you're forward facing sonar dominant or if you're not.
That's true. Last week, the dual threat was on the St. Johns River, correct? And this week, the elites are there. Looking at that, you're a Florida man.
I think the elites are on Gunnersville.
Are they? Could be.
I could have swore.
I think you're right. They are on Gunnersville. You're right.
Gunnersville's unbelievable. Thank God they're
I was gonna say, thank God they're up that.
Who am I going to see tomorrow? Oh my gosh! Oh, I'm going to see the Pro Circuit tomorrow. They're on the Harris chain.
Circuit. Yes.
Yeah. Terrible time to be fishing down here.
Yeah.
Like the dual threat went to Okeechobee the first 2-3 weeks ago, and then they went to St. John's last week. Fisher and Iowa won last week. I think, my phone. Ethan's called me twice since we've started this thing.
We're good.
Very easily. Yeah. Well, I'm not answering that phone call. So I think, luckily they're not. Luckily, the elites are in Gunnersville because they're going to crush them up there, even though it's freezing. That fishery is used to cold weather, and the fish are used to cold weather. We get down here, like the iguanas down south are all falling out of trees, frozen. They're actually saying that our snook population, this might be the worst snook kill that we've seen ever because the weather's so cold. So, and even all these other fish, armored catfish and tilapia, they just float to shore because they're dead, because we've had so many consecutive days of cold weather. So it's our bass, literally the bass, I don't find bass eating at 50, 45 degree water temperatures. Now somebody will catch them tomorrow on the Harris chain, or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Harris chain, and they'll find that 58 to 62 degree weather, and they'll water, and hopefully they'll catch them. But it's gonna be a tough fishing. On the Pro Circuit, I've had a few people tell me that they've only had 2 bites in 3 days.
Yeah,
and that's not good.
Our boy Brody Lucky, we've had on the show. He's down there. I believe he's down there fishing that now. And day one, he had 0 bites. So during practice. So and this dude's a stick. He won 4 Major League Fishing BFLs, 2 on Smith, 2 on the James this year. And he pretty much can catch fish anywhere. He's another one of them young anglers, Steve, by the way, that's, I think he does have a girlfriend, but other than that, he just fishes. So, and still lives at home with mom and dad. There you go. That's how that's how you do it. Ain't knocking it. That's how you do it. But it has
been really, the money. Really tough. I would tell them, save the money as much as possible. Save it until you can. Yeah, our fish just don't like cold weather. They really don't. And the other day I went fishing at this. I found this. My little boy, who's not so little, I say that all the time, he has a Talaria e-bike, and I have a I don't even know the name of my e-bike. Thomas's bike is fast. Thomas's bike is 61, 62 miles per hour.
Oh, wow.
Mine's 28.3. So I kind of follow behind him as he does wheelies and jumps and all sorts of stuff, and hope that he doesn't get hurt. A couple weeks ago, we found a place, and I was like riding through the dirt, and I found this pond, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful pond of all time. Lily pads on one side, cattails on the other side. I'm like,
that is awesome, dude.
Took a mouse out there. First cast, caught maybe a 2-pounder. Went back with this cold front. I can't even sniff a bite. They're just, it's just that's the way our fishing is down here.
Wow. So yes. So let's move on from the elites, and let's jump into the World Bass Enterprise. This dropped this week, everybody. $1.25 million to the winner. I think it's $500,000 to second place.
It is.
There will be some type of limitation on FFS.
There will be.
hasn't been really announced all that.
I know
But
it.
it's called, you do know?
Yeah.
Go for it.
The first 2 days, it's a 3-day tournament. The first 2 days, they can decide if they want to use it on day 1 or day 2.
Okay.
So it's half and half. Then on the championship, which will be the top 15 on that Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is, that top 15 will be able to use it for half the day, and the other half they have to use it without it. That's from Dalton Smith, the VP of marketing. I talked to him and a couple other people yesterday quite a bit.
That's awesome. So it's 25 from each league, from a Major League Fishing, MPFL, Major League Fishing Bass Pro Series, and the Bass Master Elite Series. And I guess, are they going to take the top 25, or how are they going to continue? Who's the best anglers, or how are they going to kind of break that down?
So the top 25 from the elites, top 25 from the BPT. No one from NPFL qualifies.
Oh, no one from NPFL qualifies.
Nobody so far right now. And there's not that they said this to me, but there is some sense behind it. To get to that BPP, I can't even say it, BPT and the elites, you have to qualify and go through that gauntlet to get in there, where the NPFL is a application phase, and anybody who they want in gets in. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So top 25, and then if you win one of the events on the elites, you get an automatic bid into it. Or if you win one from the BPT series. So Drew Gill is already qualified. So technically, there'll be some people that double qualify that win an event and also finish in the top 25. But technically, if you really look at it, there could be 25 plus 9, so 34 from the elites, and then 25 plus 6, 31. They could have 67 anglers. Probably won't end up being like that, or probably be 56. So every angler's getting $8,000. They're also getting a $3,000 credit card or debit card or whatever it is to cover all of their expenses, and they're paying for the rooms too.
Where's this money coming from? Where's this pocket gold?
Brian Bird, hold on, I got to look at my notes. Brian Bird owned an electrical business and he sold it. Successful businessman. He is fronting all of it. Every penny, guaranteed the payouts already. Because you go like third place is 300 grand, and they're going to put out 3 million in just payouts, and then also pay for rooms, $3,000 credit, and they're planning on having a massive expo at the Gaylord Palms. They're going to have guns and ATVs and fishing and all sorts of stuff.
That's awesome.
And they I have a whole bunch of notes. They wanted this. Now, this is an exact quote. They want to do things and treat the anglers the way they should, with royalty, celebration of the sport, and make it fruitful for the anglers. That's a direct quote from them. So Brian's putting all of it up because he's been a very successful businessman. It's something that, as they said to me, that they thought Bass and MLF at one point in time were going to attempt to do it, but because if MLF took it on, it might look like favoritism was played for this person, or if that, and so forth. So there needed to be an intermediary, and so Bass, oh my gosh, the Enterprise, World Bass Enterprise is taking on that intermediary, and they're going to do it every year. That's the goal right now.
Oh wow!
They've already kind of sort of talked about where next year will be. And then they're planning on doing it a third year. So it's,
he must have made a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I would say what I'm thinking, but it's a very bad word. But it's money. Blank you money.
Yeah,
is what it is.
That's what it is right there. I don't know this gentleman at all. I hope it does extremely well. I'm kind of looking forward to it myself. But Steve, we had a gentleman here who did that. He put up a big prize pack for prize. I think it was like some crazy stupid thing. I can't remember, guys, how much it was. He went to jail, by the way. Tax invasion got him, and he went to prison. It was on Clater Lake, a little lake up in Virginia here. And he put up, I think it was like some crazy amount, $50,000, $100,000 to the winner. Claytor Lake, I think the giant bass, and it's like you might catch a 4-pounder out of that lake. I mean, it was just something stupid. The guy went to jail. I don't know if he's out yet or not, but he went to jail, tax invasion. Like I said,
Did he
I don't
pay
think
the
there's-
anglers?
Huh?
Did
Yes,
he end up
did.
paying the
Yeah, he
anglers?
did.
Okay.
He did pay the anglers. They got all their money, but it went to poop. And like I said, I don't know this gentleman whatsoever. And like I said, Steve's talking very highly of him, and let's hope you just kind of I understand he's got stupid money, but then you just get really scared. I mean, we're already having the dual threat issue, and
Yeah.
then you get really scared, and it's because like I said, I know you said Brian has the money. It's up front. It's ready to go. It's ready to be paid. So that's great. You don't have to worry about nothing at all. But then it still leaves in the back of your mind, like, damn. I mean, it's like we just fished this event here. We had some issues, had a lot of issues. I know they're working through their issues like any tournament trail does, but it leaves a bad taste. And you're
I
like,
think. Keep going.
no, I mean, that's where I kind of want to end it with it. Cause I mean, but we do have he's got the best of the best backing him. I mean,
I think there's so much skepticism when something like this happens. Like last year, just use Ultimate Angler Championship as an example. $500,000 to the winner. And it was a $500, not really entry fee, but you had to pay $500 to be a member. And if you qualified, then that paid for your membership, whatever it was. And I remember when the Ultimate Angler started doing that, everybody was like, how could this happen? And in the case of Ultimate Angler, they had all their money was brought to them from like tourism dollars from the state.
yeah.
And they guaranteed those payouts too. And anglers were like, is this really going to happen? So there were a lot of people that didn't even register, that qualified, that didn't go fish. And I think, and I don't know Brian at all. I talked to Dalton, and just unbelievably smart, great young man. I believe he's younger than me. I'm not sure. He sounded a lot younger than me. But, I think they've already created a marketing team and communications people, and they've got streaming somewhat already not lined up, but they're working on it already. They've got some other things they've already said, well, look, there's off limits start at this time. They have everything in place ahead of time. And now it's a matter of, you're seeing Jacob Wheeler, and you're seeing Gerald Swindle, and you're seeing all these unbelievable, Brandon Palaniuk, unbelievable anglers getting behind this, where no offense to Ultimate Angler or no offense to Dual Threat, none of these anglers were getting on board before the tournament even started. And the thing is that when we see something good in this industry, we're so used to so many bad things that it's hard to believe that something like this is good and is happening, because there really is so many bad things that do happen. So I will say, like I said, I don't know them. I talked to him yesterday for 15, 20 minutes, give or take. And I was, I just tried to ask the right questions and just listen to what they said. And like I said, it's nice for them to have like a VP of marketing already ready to go before this thing even starts. And really, because they're not taking any entry fees, it's a 0 entry fee tournament. If you qualify, you should be there.
Yeah.
It's free money. It's $11,000 free to every angler right now that qualifies. Like Drew Gill, he knows he has $11,000 coming to him October 28th through November 1st. He has, as long as he shows up, he's got $8,000 in the payout, and he's got $30,000 in the gift card or the gas card or whatever it is, a credit card, and his room is paid for that whole week.
It's pretty
at
awesome.
the Gaylord Palms.
Good God.
I know. I don't even want to know how much that costs.
Yeah, no joke. Hey, what do you think about going to Kentucky Lake in October, though?
Yeah, I've heard rumors that place is horrible.
I heard it's
in
horrible.
the fall.
Yes, 110%.
Horrible. Yeah, I think, could they have picked a better place? Probably. I think they want to make it so it isn't so dominant with forward-facing sonar. Now, they didn't say that to me, but it does make sense.
Okay.
I think, in my opinion, more people want to watch tournaments without the technology than with it these days. But having said that, then you see like the Major League Fishing first event, and they're on Gunnersville, and they use 3 hours with it and 6 hours without it. And the 3 hours that they're using it, you can't even, your mind is blown apart by how many fish 10 anglers can catch in 3 hours.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You're like, and it's nonstop, and that brings the storytelling and the drama to it. And then they get the 6 hours without it, and you're like, okay, man, this is painful slow at times. And you're like, and really, when it's slow like that, you end up. I go watch Jolly. That's my favorite YouTube channel. Instead of watching bass fishing, and that stinks.
Speaking of the No FS, we didn't bring that up. Also, the first Bassmaster Elite's no forward-facing sonar as well. So we get to kind of see a little glimpse of that this weekend as well with that, and what they decided to do, and picking the lakes that they wanted to have no FS, and they wanted to have no forward-facing sonar, and the ones they did want to have forward-facing sonar, and the first one of the year is no forward-facing sonar. So it's gonna be an interesting stop number one for the Bassmaster Elite Series, because you always you kind of want to start the season with a bang. I mean, it's like NASCAR. They start with Daytona 500, the fireworks and the bang, and then after that, the season kind of just trickles on until the end. Then you see the bang again. So starting off the season with no forward-facing sonar, think the viewership we're going to still have, or or just people just going to be committed? I mean, I think a lot of Bassmaster guys are just committed. They're going to watch no matter what. They're going to complain.
I think they have the right.
Watch.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're probably complaining right now.
Yeah.
For sure, without any question, to go to Gunnersville without forward-facing sonar is not the worst thing in the world.
Right.
We saw the Ultimate Angler there, and they destroyed fish in that Ultimate Angler. Different time of year, but Gunnersville is without question probably the best fishery in the country, in my opinion. They get that 3 to 5 are consistent, and then occasionally you find those 7 to 10s, 7, 8, 9s in that range. And there's just so many fish. And I think if there was going to be one to start off with without forward-facing sonar, even though it is brutal cold,
yes,
Gunnersville is the place to be, in my opinion. I think they're going to smash them this week. I think someone's going to get 22 to 23 pounds a day and going to come back with 90 pounds. And that's going to be.
I think that's what I picked from my fantasy fishing. It was like right at 90 pounds.
Yeah, I did 90.3. And I think that's.
I'd have to look. Let me see here. Where did it? Oh, crap. Let me see his real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to go to mine.
I didn't copy that part, but I did pick Jordan Lee. I picked Easton Fothergill.
Yeah.
Scott.
So hold on. So in the first, I'm going to it right now. So bucket 1, you picked 2.
Jordan Lee.
Okay. I can see. Well, Jordan Lee is great everywhere. He's the favorite. I'll be honest. I took Trey McKinney.
Okay.
I don't think you can do bad. Well, the thing is you have Jordan, Trey, and Tucker Smith in that group. Yes. And Tucker Smith won the Ultimate Angler there. And Fisher and I is in that group too, man. I mean, those are one of those 4 guys will probably be the winner. I'll be honest. I didn't take Trey McKinney last year in one event. And I shot myself every week because I thought to myself, there's no way this young man can continue the pace that he has had. This year, I'm not doing that. I think that Trey probably was there for months pre-fishing. And
yes, he was.
And I think I just can't. I can't do it. By the way, mine was 91.5. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Okay, so
Group B was
Group
Easton
B
Father Gill.
I think is the favorite. No, Kyle Welcher's the favorite.
Kyle Welch was the favorite.
I took Kyle Welcher only because he's done very well there in the past. Very, very well in the past. I will say, I think Easton Fothergill is as good as any angler in the last 10 years.
Yes.
I don't.
His mind is like so amazing. It really is. I mean, he probably just lays down at night and thinks about bass fish. I mean, it's like
He fishes so much he doesn't even text people back. That's not a joke. He told me at ICAST, he's like, Steve, I just am fishing too much. I don't want to text people. I'm like, okay,
dang.
cool.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, that's a good
group,
one too.
In Group C, I had Scott Canterbury.
Yep, another Alabama boy. I have Andrew Loberg in that one.
Okay.
I took Andrew because he is another Alabama person. Justin Hamner is the odds-on favorite, and Palaniuk's up there too. I don't think you can. I think any of those guys are great anglers. You know, you probably have the right person though. Now that I'm thinking about it, because Canterbury is great without forward-facing sonar.
Yes.
He won that event last year on MPFL, so he should probably be in more people's lineups. I think if I remember correctly, and I don't have my notes in front of me, Loberg had done really, really well there too. So all those guys are good.
All right, Group D. Who do you have? I'll let you do your Group D first, and I'll tell you mine.
I went with my good friend Randy Howell.
Okay.
He's won there in the past.
Yes.
Doesn't need forward-facing sonar. It's like his home. It's like his home. It's his home pond. I don't know anybody else. I mean, I see when I'm looking at this, Jason Christie's at 12.4, Gerald Swindle's at 19.3. I really don't think, in my opinion, it's Randy Howell and that's it. I will say I like Sam Hagney too, but Howell's my boy.
I kind of went really young. I picked Mr. Bo Browning. I kind of, he's from Arkansas. Big stick right there. Had a great first year. Last season was really, really good for him. So I'm wondering, maybe some momentum carrying on. And these guys can catch them with or without forward-facing sonar. They really can. People don't understand that. I mean,
that is the best. That's the best thing I've heard you say. No offense. People, I no offense to people who put comments on my channel saying, "Oh, they can't catch them." No, these guys can catch them. They can catch them in your backyard without water.
Yeah,
they're that good. Bo is a great angler. That's a great young angler. That is a
very
great
good young angler.
And it's just hard for me not to pick Randy because I try not to play like favoritisms and all that other stuff, but quite honestly, this was one I had to play favoritism. I think Randy's one of the best of all time.
All right, Group E, the final group. And this is kind of favoritism for me. I'm a big Buddy Gross fan.
Okay, yeah.
And I like Buddy Gross, great angler. I think last year a little bit up and down for him, but I kind of like Buddy, and we're rolling the dice. It's Group E. It's kind of one of the things where, I don't want to say they're here, but they are here. So I mean, you're flipping a coin.
Yeah. You have Zaldane in this one. You have Matt Robertson. You have Steve Kennedy, who did well on the two first events at Dual Threat. You have Buddy, and then you have, and I took Hank Cherry.
Okay.
I think he's a lot of previous experience without forward-facing sonar. I will say, I think this is going to be a comeback year for Chris Zaldane. He's not a fan of mine, which is perfectly fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings. But he's had a couple bad years, or last year was bad, if I remember.
Yeah.
Ike and Ellie's in this group too. Ike and Ellie's done real well on Gunnersville too. But do you think there's a chance Ike and Ellie just has a ridiculous year, and then now is second guessing retirement? And honestly, I want to know. I want to know what you think.
I don't know. You kind of. I mean, it would be like it's your 9 to 5, and you have like it's a year that, all right, at the end of this year I'm gonna retire, and then they throw a little bit more money at you or something like that, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna stay for another year. You know what I'm saying? But you kind of wonder with all that Ike has done, he's the only angler to ever win an Open, a kayak series event, a Bassmaster Classic. I mean,
Bass Nation.
Bass Nation. I mean, he's like he's done it all. And
Angler of the Year.
Angler of the Year. I mean, the list is there. I mean, there's nothing else really for him to win in the Bassmaster side of it. So you kind of do wonder if at the end of the year, if he does have a great year, would he stay on? I don't know, Steve. That's kind of hard.
Imagine he qualifies for the Classic.
Yeah.
You can't fish it unless you can't fish the Classic unless you're in the elites, I think.
Yep.
Now, if he makes that, then maybe he qualifies for this other World Bass Enterprise tournament. Now you're going, okay, wait a minute. He's qualified for the Classic. He's made the top, let's just say he makes the top 25. He's had a ridiculous year. Are we gonna go, okay, he has to retire? Or are we gonna go, he deserves to stay? He's proven he can.
Oh yeah.
He had a couple bad years and now it's a different thing. Or see, I always think that when you announce that you're going to retire at the beginning of the season, that because you're quitting, and I'm not saying that you would do this, there isn't that as much drive to win another one. Because you're like, okay, this is it. I'm taking my swan song and I'm going to take my accolades and enjoy it and fish 9 tournaments and then move on.
With the Bassmasters change that they did last year, and entry fees and all that good stuff, I had I didn't have him on, but I heard Matt Robertson on another show talk about he really didn't give a F. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it. He really, he talked about that. He said, I'd rather have the $10,000 entry fee. It made me fish my ass off. And I didn't have that. So, I mean, it's, he's like, I just kind of just coasted, made a little money. He's been fishing up here. He's been fishing the Carolina Angler Team Tournament Trail, I think down South Carolina or North Carolina. I can't remember which parts he's been fishing. He's been taking checks there. So, I mean, and he's another one, the baby just, believe it or not, he had a kid. Love you, Matt. As wild as you are, because we got to see a lot of wildness going some of these events. But it's pretty awesome for that. But hopefully, life and everything will come in for him. But yeah, I mean, you kind of wonder, like you said, would it be a year he just coasted? I mean, paid his little whatever they have to pay, not pay, and just coast through the year. Hi to the fans, sign autographs after each event, and just roll out into history.
I was one of these people that I felt like the entry fees, they should get rid of them. That's just me personally. And then they got rid of them last year, and then they did the 10,000 thing. And then I started talking to a bunch of people or a bunch of friends on the BPT, and then their entry fees are $6,425. And I was asking them, man, this is just absurd. And they all, and this is 100%, were like, look, I'm willing to gamble $6,400 on my own skills to make more money. I know I'm this good. I know I can compete at this level, and I don't mind paying it because I want the return back. Because Bass took away it, and then their payouts were horrible, and then they rescheduled and did it, and it got better. But I mean, you're looking at like the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, I believe, and I could be wrong, pays more than the Bassmaster Elites this year.
Wow.
And the Pro Circuit is the AAA compared to the BPT. And the BPT is the number 1 payout. And I think I could be wrong. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think that's what I read somewhere. And one of the things I enjoy doing is doing those videos on where you would make the most if you're an angler. Top 10 anglers here, top 10 anglers here, top 10 anglers here. And the BPT and the Pro Circuit this year, I believe, pay more than anybody because the top 50 anglers make at least $10,000 on the Pro Circuit this year. And that's good money for, for these anglers?
Well, it's not bad. I talked to one of our anglers, local anglers here that fished the Bass Pro Series a couple of years, and he did the math, and he dropped out. I mean, he left because by the time he spent a week practicing, and the fuel, the gas, the hotels, that was about $3,000 to $4,000. Entry fee, like you said, was $6,000, $7,000. Zero.
Oh no! I mean, there's when you really start to dive into the money that the anglers
There's
make,
other money.
there is other money. There's a lot of other money, but
There is.
if you just go by their caches, really most of these guys are living off their sponsorships, and then they have the money. If they win any money on the payouts or if they wherever they place, it's just a bonus to their overall bankroll.
Oh yeah.
They don't count on it. You can't count on it because you never know what's going to happen. But it does help. Like BPT pays $15,000 to the last place person this year. Pro
Okay.
Circuit pays $10,000 for the last place. So
Wow.
if you have $5,200, and then I think when I look at it, I think probably the average angler spends about $2,500 to $3,000.
Okay.
So it still puts a couple $1,000s in their bank account if you're with the Pro Circuit. If you're at the BPT level, it probably puts $5,000 or $6,000 in your pocket, but you still got to be one of those top 25.
Yeah.
And the BPT, those 51 anglers, there's no slouches in that 51 anglers anymore.
You know, I think I think a lot of people don't think about that. But you know, you got the team series for the BPT. You got it's a couple different little series that they have after the season ends that you know that more ways to make money. So I mean, you know, it's more than just the initial events, but you need to do
They have
well.
you if you qualify for the heavy hitters, you're getting paid for that. It's a free event. Qualify for the Red Crest, you get that one. The team series, everybody gets $2,500 or $3,500 at every event. So you know, I think that's one of the things that goes unnoticed about what Major League Fishing is doing. If you're at that BPT level, there's 3 other tournaments, or really 4 other tournaments, because you're going to fish 2 team series. There's 4 events that are free for you that you have an opportunity to win a ton of. Like heavy hitters, like this year, heavy hitters is stupid. Like wait till they go to Orange Lake. I'm not joking. Orange Lake, 10 pounds is that someone's going to hit a 10 or 12 out of there. It's that unbelievable fishing up there.
Wow.
And you win if you know on the last day you catch the biggest fish, it's $100,000. If you win the event, it's another $100,000. So it's $50,000 for the it's like 25, 50, 100 for big fish for the 4 days. That's a lot of money, man. I mean, that's a lot of money. And those are the little things that make it better.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people don't understand. It was, you know, these, you know, yes, it might be a big payout. You do really well, you get rewarded.
Yeah. I mean, consistency is really important in these tournaments to make it to get into the elites and have consistency and then get to go to the classic, or with Red Crest and heavy hitters and all that other stuff that Major League Fishing has to go. It really, consistency is the game. If you're not consistent, you can't have one bad tournament in these tournaments. Like Cody starting off the opens with a win. I mean, that's huge for that young man.
Oh, yeah.
There were 184 anglers in that tournament, by the way. I mean, what the heck?
Holy cow.
That was crazy. I did a video. I don't even know when it went. I did a video about, is there a resurgence for bass fishing this year? Because you have 51 for the BPT. You have 102 for the elites. You have 184 for the opens. You have 186 in the Tackle Warehouse Pro, or 150 in the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit. You have 130 for the NPFL. There are so many anglers putting up 5,000, 6,000, whatever it is, to fish right now. It's absurd.
Wow.
And I say in the video, maybe it's the Florida swing, because you know everyone wants to come down here and fish when it's great weather. We are not having great weather.
Not having very bad weather. Yes, I saw on the Weather Channel, extremely cold down there, and hopefully you might have some oranges this year. You might. I don't know how many you're going to have, but or any other fruit that we get out of Florida. So I can't eat fruit, by the way. So the acid tears me up, all due aside. So I don't really pay much attention to it. But hopefully, they're able to save some of it. But guys,
It probably hurt quite a bit, to be honest. I mean,
wow.
we usually have a couple cold days, and then it
But
gets
not like
back into the 70s and 80s. It's been 2 weeks.
All right, Steve,
So-
we're about ready to wrap this bad boy up, but we're gonna talk about dual threat fishing real quick. Just wrapped up their second event. We've
St.
heard of
John's.
Yep, we've heard of the DQ. Well, we heard of one self-report.
Yes.
And we had another issue as well. So it was at 4. Oh God,
Possibly.
We're not gonna.
Possibly
I don't want to
4.
really dive into that because I don't want to talk much about the negative, but it's
Mhm.
it's. Do you know some of the reason behind it? Was the information rule that we had issues with last year, the phone rule that we had issues with last year, or was it just some stupid crap?
I don't know how to answer that.
Oh, shit.
Let me. I'm going to be real. I'll be honest with you. I think that there were some people that didn't listen to where they could go and where they couldn't go. And I'm not saying this is their fault either. I wasn't down there.
Yeah.
I wasn't down in Okeechobee. I wasn't down at St. John's or up in St. John's. I guess that would be up for me. I think at Okeechobee, there might be people that didn't know the boundaries and might have went through the boundaries. Now, I don't know that for sure.
Right.
This is only information that I am gathering from talking to Ethan, which used to be like 5 or 6 times a day. Now I'm talking to him every couple days. I'm trying to take a little bit step back. I guess that's the best way to put it. And so, it's caused all sorts of drama that I don't think should have been there to start off with.
Yeah. Guys, whatever happened, I want to say this: the rules are meant for a reason. I'm not sure if these rules were explained correctly or not correctly.
Exactly.
But please read the rules. I don't care what you fish. Please read the rules. This is not a lottery ticket you're going down to your local sheets and buying out of a machine. This is a lot of money. A lot of time goes into this. You can read the rules. I mean, and like I said, I don't know if the rules weren't that explained. I don't we weren't there. We can't, but I'll tell you this. There's one thing I can take away from the kayak series part of it. And we know our boy's really big into the kayak series. But Thomas, but the captain's meetings are always so important. It's what we call them, but the team meetings, whatever, is always so important. Uh, you know, talking about the off limits, talking about where you can go, what you can fish, what you can't fish. It's just, man, it kind of just tears me up that some of the easiest stuff is what kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know the anglers, the self-reported one. I don't know.
Yeah.
The other ones are being looked into by his group, and they've had to pull footage and pull cards and do all sorts of stuff, and going through 8 hours of video, different video to find out who did. And then in St. John's, there were a lot of people complaining about anglers. There's a 30-mile speed limit on the St. John's in many parts. And, you're watching like Kyle Patrick's feed and you're seeing people go by him and he's at going 30 and people are driving by him at Mach 4. And and he's commenting, "Hey, this is a 30-mile-per-hour speed limit here." And Kyle doesn't know who this Kyle doesn't know who that person is.
Yeah.
And now, and I think St. John's, there's even going to be issues with probably some people. And I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
How many more of these do we have left? Of the
We
dual
have 4
threat?
left.
4 left?
Where there's hold on. There's 6 in a champ. 6 or 8.
Oh,
6.
wow. Will it make it to a
There's 4.
championship?
That's a very good question.
Will we have an MPFL season? I mean, will we have like first MPFL season? Championship just gets thrown out the window. That was for a different reason, but I mean, you know, a sponsor pulled out the wrong time or a backer pulled out for the MPFL, but will it just become such a big shit show that this is where we're at?
So I know that he's because he is in the process of hiring a tournament director.
He has
I
no
wish I could
tournament
tell you he does not have a tournament director. He doesn't have a media person. So I'll keep it real with you. When Okeechobee happened, I made a video. It's private. And this private video goes into what I know or what my story is behind everything that happened with Dual Threat. And I hope I don't ever want to have to post it. But at one point in time, he somewhat offered me the job.
Oh.
And he's like, I would really like you to do it. And he wants somebody that can be a tournament director and also be an announcer. This is the God's honest truth. I'm not qualified to be a tournament director. I've fished. The only fishing tournaments I've ever fished was I fished 2 benefits to help UCF Real Knights gain money, and another tournament that was to raise money for a person, a kid that was having some issues. I've never been in a real fishing tournament. I've fished media event days for 10 or 12 years and did fantastic. But to be quite honest, I wasn't the boater. I just hopped on the boat and just happened to be a pretty decent angler and knew where I was. But when he asked me about it, I did. This is the God's honest truth. I said, I'm not qualified for it. Now, could I do the announcing because I know most of the people? Probably, but I'm not. I don't want to throw myself in there because I was under the impression that there was somebody that was already hired to do that. And I'm not going to take away someone else's job. So I declined that one too. For me, the only thing I was going to do was I was just going to edit videos for him. And I wasn't even running his social media. I was just going to, put together a highlight show. And that was going to be my thing with Dual Threat. And now it's nothing. But he's supposedly hiring a tournament director who hopefully will be able to do the announcing. At the Lake Eufaula event, they're supposed to be streaming, have 5 things streaming, 5 cameras, 5 boats streaming. But that's still a month away. They didn't have a trailer boat or a release boat. They didn't have I've seen this, what is it called? This trailer for them to release, to weigh the fish. They didn't have that. And I think that when this investor came in with 2 weeks before this thing was going to start, it just convoluted everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's the fishing world, to be honest. And I'm glad he's got a sponsor, but that just sometimes happens there where the money shows up. You kind of need the money 6 months before you got it to get all these people in line. A year to 6 months to a year, really, to get everybody in line, to get everything organized, and then be ready to kick off the season.
The World Bass Enterprise has been behind the scenes working on this for 2 years.
Wow.
Before they announced it yesterday. So let's hope. That's all we can do is let's hope.
Let's hope Dual Threat turns it around. The rest of the season is great for them. Like I said, I don't wish no bad luck. I mean, it's pretty awesome what they're doing. it is so crazy and so cool to be able to see what's happening right now in the world tournament bass fishing, and more opportunities to cash checks. That's what
Yeah,
it's
and
all about.
I think it is. I think the team series is fantastic. I love the whole idea of what Dual Threat's doing. That's why I did videos for it and tried to help promote it and do what I could on my end. But I'm not a paid employee. I've never been a paid employee.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing what, like, I did a video and I did the same exact thing for MLF. I did the same thing for NPFL years ago. I did the same amount of videos for NPFL that I did for Dual Threat in a year. So, I think the biggest thing is there's just so many people that are hating on what Dual Threat has done and making up lies and being completely negative and just trashing everything that Ethan's doing. And hopefully it comes through and he can prove all of them wrong. But I hope that those people that have been talking shit realize that they can't talk about ever being positive in this industry, because what Ethan is trying to do is positive for the anglers. And if it works out, those people that have just chirped and said all their stuff, nobody should ever watch their podcast, because they're not good people.
Agreed. We're gonna end it there, guys. Steve, dude, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being a part of tonight's show.
I told you anytime you need me, call me.
Like I said, we're gonna see Steve a lot, I think, this year, because it's like I said, it's already been a heck of an interesting. The dude is in the know. He's in the know more than I am, to be honest. And I try to keep up with everything going on. But what's coming up for your channel? What you got going on with your YouTube channel?
To be honest, I've taken a couple days off of not doing videos. I think tomorrow I have another, what of all things, what you and I talked about for that World at Bass Enterprises is what exactly tomorrow's video is talking about, for almost word for it. But that's all right. We're family, so we're here for each other. So I think there's another about World Bass tomorrow. I'm gonna go have I'm going to the angler meeting for the pro circuit, and I'm hoping to interview Bank Shaw, and then introduce myself to, like, I don't know Andrew Loberg. I don't know. I've met Brian Latimer once or twice. I'd like to talk to him. Yeah, Miles Berghoff. I'd like to talk to him. So there's a few people I want to just introduce myself to. And then I think I'm doing lunch and dinner with a couple people. And then hopefully I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a video out of it, to be honest, but that's kind of the goal. But at the same time,
tell B-Lat we want him on the show. He is really opinionated, and I really like his opinionation, and I really we love B-Lat here. I'm not gonna lie to you. And B-Lat breaks it down. There is no sugar coating it for that man right there whatsoever. And we really do like him, to be honest.
Yeah, he's amazing. He is a good dude.
Great dude.
He's one of the he's one of the people I follow really intensely. I just think he's a good person.
All his videos out there in the garage. So I mean, yes, we really, really do like him. So tell him we'd love to have him back. I'd love to have him on the show. We get all three of us on there and we'll talk about the season and talk about bass fishing. All right.
I'll do that for sure.
Guys, we really appreciate you guys checking in and watching tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I am trying to get some different guests on, but you know what? We ended last year with just kind of like a show like this. We just talked about what's happening, a few fishing tips, and threw it all together. And I'm kind of liking this format that we've been doing the last couple of the end of last year and going into 2026. And like having Steve on and Bass Geek and Thomas. So appreciate your brother as always. You guys have a great week. Don't forget, Bassmaster Elites. Lots of great fishing ahead. The season has just kicked off, and it's only going to get better. And I'm trying to share as much of this dual threat as I possibly can to you guys to get it out there to you. I mean, after the first post came out, Steve, I had 4 messages that said, WTF is this? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I was like, where did this come from? I don't know. I said, well, aren't you in media? I was like, yes, but I'm not, this is down here. I'm up here. So, I mean, I don't know, but, we'll learn and we'll figure it all out. But, it's a lot going on. And these big events right here that are going to be happening in the next few months, you kind of wonder, it's really going to change bass fishing. It's going to change tournament fishing, and people are going to start expecting this type of payout and looking forward to this type of payout. So the bar just keeps getting raised in the world tournament bass fishing, and we'll see where it goes. So don't forget to read your rules, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you back here on Basscast Radio.